All right. Let's go ahead and call this regular meeting of the Marion County Board of Supervisors to order. Roll call, Mr. Randia.
Keisha Johnner.
Here.
Mark Ramey.
Here.
Steve McCombs.
Here. Is there a motion on this morning's agenda?
Make motion to approve this morning's agenda.
Second. McCombs. Aye. Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
Communications, Jake.
Not that I'm aware of.
Board.
None.
Nope, I have none.
All right, public comments. This portion of the agenda, the public can speak on items not listed on today's agenda. Board can't act on those items. They could be topics for future meetings. And Tyler is first up.
Yeah, so late last week at the County Engineers Conference, I was made aware that we are a semifinalist for a grant for the T15 corridor. This would be a grant or a project bundle with other counties for a fairly large federal discretionary grant. The benefit of Marion County going in on a bundle is the cost for the application and the cost benefit would be dispersed amongst a group of counties ranging maybe from 3 to 5 counties. So we wouldn't have to bear what we know to be $30,000 to $40,000 initially. It will require some level of funding commitment if we are a finalist. So I've just an FYI for you, we are a semifinalist. I'm currently getting the documents together for them to do the next review. So there's a panel of county engineers and Iowa DOT folks that review and make that decision called the grant committee. So just an FYI for you.
Okay, very good, Tyler.
Thanks,
Thank you
Tyler.
for that.
Thanks, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Carla?
Yes, just wanted to make everyone aware, we received notification yesterday that we received an Iowa tourism grant. This grant will help us to build out some capacities on our Red Rock area tourism website. So I'm very pleased to be selected for that.
Carla, how much was the grant?
$2,500. The project cost is $5,000, so it's 50% of the project cost.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carla.
Are there any other public comments on items not listed on this morning's agenda? Anything online, Emily? Nothing else internal. All right. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Make motion to approve today's consent agenda.
Second.
Ramey.
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye.
Okay, very good. First item is an amended MOU with Polk County regarding mental health advocate services. Whose is this?
So I think, catching up here. Let's see, this is mental health services. So this kind of started out with Ross, I think, in the attorney's office. And then Kelly Yagi from, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, so can I jump in
The
there?
advocate, yeah.
Yeah, Jared.
She had 2
we've
meetings
used
going on this
service
morning.
for quite some time, haven't we?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, this is not new at all. What's the amendment? Just briefly, what's the amended change?
My understanding is just the mental health advocate herself, that Kaylee is retiring and that we're replacing.
They're replacing the person.
My understanding, and there's uncertainty with the future, with the whole mental health region. So I believe that this has an end date in it. It's kind of a temporary thing while Kelly Yagi, who's the longtime advocate, retires.
Right.
I know she had a duplicate this morning with Jasper County, and I don't know if she's available online or not.
Is she online? Kelly, anything you'd like to add to that? Are you on?
Just to reiterate, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. We don't know if they're going to be regions, they're going to be administrative service organizations. And this legislative session, I would anticipate that Health and Human Services kind of determine where within the system that the advocate falls. So since everything's up in the air, I am retiring, and Brett Michael, who has also been longtime part-time advocate, is going to take over as temporary full-time, and then they will advertise for my position.
Okay. Very good. Board, any questions for Jared or for Kelly?
Just stating some facts. So it's my understanding it's just Polk, Jasper, and ourselves that are in this agreement.
Correct.
And then the fee was, as of July 1st, $8,462 for our portion is what the agreement says.
Okay.
So it says directed towards the total advocate salary and operations, so.
Steve?
Well, that's good.
All right. Jared, else you want to add?
No,
Okay.
there's no.
Is there a motion for this, approving this amended MOU?
I make a motion, we approve the amended MOU.
I'll second.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey.
Aye. Very good. Thank you. Got Eric Hess.
Yep, Eric.
Eric, feel free to step up to the podium here. We've got a mic. I don't know where the portable mic is.
It's a little crowded in here this morning, Eric, so Eric may have,
here to see me.
right? He has a handout he would like to give us, board.
Okay, and this is regarding an amendment to the Central Iowa Chief Elected Officers Shared Liability Agreement.
Correct.
That's a mouthful.
Sure, it sure is. And thanks for the time this morning. I appreciate you having me on the agenda. I'd like to acknowledge that two of the board members for the local workforce board attended with me today, Terry Boss and Lana Pohl, who both have ties to Marion County. So I appreciate their tie or their attendance today. So the item on the agenda is specifically updating the shared liability agreement or amending it, redistributing the liability for the funds of the Title I contract. But it's really hard to talk about what this involves without talking about what the local workforce area and local workforce board is or does. And so I'm going to try to be very quick in about 2 minutes, give you an overview, but success to me looks like potentially you might invite me again for a future work session or something to figure out how to further leverage our work. We work at we're one of 6 workforce areas in the state of Iowa. We are 8 counties, and you'll see that on the front, Polk County, and each of those that touch it. We are the smallest geographically, which I believe is a strength to the workforce area because that therefore makes it more local. Page 2 is the workforce board members. Those are strategically composed according to federal legislation that requires them to be business driven. And there's 19 board members. Those board members are appointed by a consortium of county supervisors, of which Supervisor Johnner sits on. The idea is that composition of workforce board members aligns all of the people that you need at the table to have strategic workforce coordination for your area. The third page talks a little bit about what is the chief elected board and what is the shared liability agreement. Again, Supervisor Johnner has been sitting on this board since I've started, and I believe quite
For the last 6 years, yeah.
before that as well. She represents you guys very well, asks tough and strategic questions, which I'm sure comes as no surprise to anyone here. But that chief elected group has a few things they are charged with doing. One is picking who will be their lead elected official. One is appointing and approving board members for the local workforce area. They approve and appoint the local workforce board chair, negotiate Title I performance metrics. They also select an administrative entity and a Title I service provider, or they authorize that selection on behalf of the workforce area. The next page talks just a little bit more about liability as a whole. I like to let people know that our work is funded 100% by federal funds right now. So there's no state contribution or no county contribution. But what we do need to do in order to keep this funding flowing through into the Title I program and to have a local workforce area is that the county supervisors must accept liability for any misallocated funds that would incur as a result of the delivery of the program. This is where we get to the current amendment today. The current county liability is 1/8 apiece per county in that shared liability agreement. So there's a number of parts of the amendment that are just kind of updating terminology, but the main substantive change is reducing that from 1/8 to per capita. So in essence, what is happening for Marion County is per capita be changing from approximately 12.5% of liability to per capita, which would be 3.8%. So this is reducing liability to the county by quite significantly, with Polk County taking on more of the liability. So moving forward, there's a page that says, what does a local workforce board do? One of the questions I get quite often from the county supervisors is what is our county getting out of this? This shared liability agreement is the ticket to having a local workforce board. So this is the voice or the input into the public workforce system that our 8-county area has. Without the shared liability agreement, without the Title I funding coming through the local areas and in this direction, there is no local workforce board, which means you no longer have anything from this area or anyone that's now providing input into the state workforce system. So therefore, you just lose more local control and adopt more of the state and governor's, say, workforce strategy and policy. So more so than any of the outcomes, I think more importantly than any of the outcomes that come from specifically the Title I grant, which provides workforce services to adults and youth and young adults that are low income and have workforce barriers through case management. I think more importantly than that investment in people that you get is you get the opportunity to have a local workforce system and some local control and say into that. And you can see on the last 2 pages some of the things that the local workforce board does, and then a little bit more about what Title I is. And so what I hope to do today is support Keisha and the other 7 county supervisors that are executing this through their Board of Supervisors meetings now, and updating the shared liability agreement to redistribute the liability more so on Polk County, which is really more replicative, as well as how the services are rendered, if you think about it in that regard. Are there any questions I could help you with today, or you could ask either Lana or Terry as well, if you would like, as board members?
Eric, could you tell, how many dollars are we talking about when we talk about Central Iowa in itself?
Annually,
As an area?
yeah, annually around $2 million of federal funding come to the local area.
Okay.
10% of that can be spent on administration and 90% on program delivery. One of the challenges of this grant is there's so much that we want to do and be in terms of a workforce strategist for Central Iowa, but we're primarily funded very singularly through this Title I service. And so as we move into the next year, one of our goals is to add additional funding and different things so we can be more of a workforce entity through other grants. We, as you know, Keisha, just in our last meeting with the chief electeds, passed a resolution to appoint Mid-Iowa Planning Alliance as the grant administration entity moving forward. Really, that'd be a great hub to connect to other social services and apply for other grants, and hopefully meet more community-based challenges that may be available.
So this the liability change, just to recap again, is before it was divided equally, when we had signed it. Now they're wanting to divide it per capita between the 8 counties. Like Eric said, Polk County receives the majority of the services. As the board is aware, whenever we're combined with Polk generally takes a lot of the services, no matter what we're in. And so I do think that it is beneficial that it is divided per capita versus just divided equally, because we weren't receiving equal amount of services. So
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I don't know if anybody else has any questions for Eric. I did ask Eric to come down and visit about this because there has been quite a few changes over the 6 years that I've been there with Central Iowa Workforce Development. And it's generally dealt with federal level coming through the state. So it's not always been an easy board to be on. It's because of the changes. So
Appreciate your diligence.
Yep.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the change?
I make motion to approve the amended Central Iowa Chief Elected Officials Shared Liability Agreement.
Second.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner.
I thank you guys for coming this morning. Appreciate it. You don't have to stay if you don't want to, but if you've got something else.
This is your chance.
Yep, we'll give you.
Take it and run. Resolution 2024-94. And this is the Marion County Emergency Medical Service System Advisory Council and approve members. Jared?
Thank you, Mark. So I want to just take a minute to kind of outline where we are with this. As everybody knows, on September 10th, this board approved EMS as an essential service in the county pursuant to 422D. The next step in that process was for Marion County EMS to formulate a committee which would make recommendations as to how much funding is needed to put on the ballot. I was asked by this board to communicate with Marion County EMS to make sure that everybody knew that the board had approved this and to give them notice that a committee needed to be formed. So on September 24th, I sent out a letter to what I thought was an inclusive list of all EMS. There were a couple other people that notified me, and we've had communications about this formulation of the group. When we were here last, I provided the list that I was provided from Marion County EMS, and I know that through our discussions, it appeared that that list was a little unsettled. And so we gave it a couple of weeks in order for EMS to meet and to be able to come up with a list to present to the board. And that's the list that is attached to the agenda item today is a list that I received, what I believe to be the final list. However, I'm the messenger in all this. I just wanted to communicate this to the board. I'm not sure if anybody else wants to speak as to whether that is the final list. It's been kind of a difficult situation for me because I haven't been part of the conversations in formulating this list. So, but at any rate, what's before the board today is a resolution to approve that list as the EMS Advisory Council pursuant to 422D. The code does not require this board to approve a list. It can be informal. I know when other counties have done this, there's not been a resolution in some, and there may have been in others. So today, there's no timelines, no pressing timelines. Obviously, the sooner this gets started, the sooner the committee can meet, and it would follow that sooner that committee could bring back a recommendation to this board. So with all that being said, the resolution's in front of the board, and that's the information that I've been given at this time.
All right, thank you. Board, any
Jared.
questions for Jared? We talked about this in 3 meetings.
No, Jared, I want to thank you for all your work on this, and I want to thank the EMS people for putting this committee together. I know I had some concerns at the last meeting, but it looks like they've been addressed. It looks like it's a very fairly inclusive list. Looks like everybody's going to be represented and will have a voice. So I have no problem with this list.
Okay, is that a motion, Steve, to approve the list?
That's a motion to approve the list.
Is there a second?
Yep, I'll second.
Motion and support. Jake?
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye. Now your work begins.
All right, we have an appointment, Ms. C. Kelly Mitchell, to the Zoning Commission.
Correct. So we have, gonna have a vacancy at the end of the year. Sandy Egan, who has served 10+ years on the zoning commission, has decided it's time to retire, and we want to thank Sandy for all her hard work over the past 10 years. Kelly Mitchell has agreed to serve. She's been active in a lot of on Carla's Development Commission board. She's been very active with projects in Marion County, and I think she'll be a good fit as we head into the comp plan update. So I would, I guess, recommend approval for Kelly Mitchell to fill that spot.
Okay, board?
Yep, I don't have any problem. I know Kelly and she'll do a good job. She's very thorough.
Nope.
All right, is there a motion?
Make motion to approve Kelly Mitchell. to fill the
Second.
vacancy.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey.
Aye. Got some reappointments.
We do have some reappointments. It's been verified that they're willing to continue to serve. All of them are fairly longtime members. Keith has been our zoning commission chair for several years now, has a lot of knowledge of real estate, been very active. Dale and Lauren came onto the Board of Adjustments and they've been very active since they've been appointed. So I would recommend that they all be reappointed.
All right, board questions?
No,
If none, is there a motion to approve these reappointments?
I make a motion, we approve the reappointments to the Marion County Zoning Commission.
I'll second.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye.
Aye.
All right, very good.
And my
And
last item,
Resolution 2024-91.
at the last meeting, I presented you this memorandum and resolution because our agreement with Mid-Iowa Planning had expired. And there was a few things changed in the language, which at that meeting, you asked me to have the county attorney's office review it, and Ross has reviewed it and has no concerns with the proposed language change.
Everybody looked at it? Jared?
Yes, you can give it, Ross,
Yep.
yes.
All right, any questions?
No, that was my only question last time was making sure legal counsel had reviewed, and since they have, I'm fine with it.
It's been done.
Yep.
Is there a motion?
Yep, make motion to approve resolution 2024-91.
Second.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Missy. 2024-92, which is county tax sale. Michaela.
Yeah, I have two of these today. When I took over as treasurer, kind of one of my missions was to clean up the delinquent tax list. And whenever we have some of these city requests to assign a county held tax sale, that kind of falls within the scope of that mission. Both of these are properties that at one point had a significant special assessment put against them by the city of Harvey. My understanding is to remove a dwelling at that time on each of them. Unfortunately, what that does when the city removes the dwelling, they cannot pursue kind of the preferred course of legal action, a Chapter 657. So really one of their only options at that point, if it's just land, is to have the county assign the county held tax sale assignment to them. And I just want to make clear to everyone what that does is that does not deed the property to them because we only hold the tax sale. They then have to take that tax sale that's been assigned to them and follow the tax sale foreclosure process to obtain a tax sale deed in their name.
All right,
So
questions for Michaela?
So obviously there's other steps that the city's gonna have to take if we approve these. today.
Correct, yes. And their city attorney is aware of that.
All right. Now I reviewed and I understand after viewing these parcels, why the city is wanting to do that, so.
Steve?
No, I actually spoke with her yesterday about this, so I'm kind of familiar with it.
All
So
right.
thank you.
Is there a motion on resolution 2024-92?
Yep, make the motion to approve resolution 2024-92.
Second.
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye. 2024-93.
Same thing.
Same thing,
Yep.
just a
Ditto.
different parcel. Exact same situation
motion?
though.
Make motion to approve resolution 2024-93.
Second.
McCombs,
Aye.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
Very good.
And I do have one question. Jake, I can't remember, did I put a copy of the tax sale certificate in the packet?
Let me see.
I thought this morning that I may have forgotten
So-
that.
There's an agreement for assignment of Marion County tax sale certificate.
Yeah.
There's the agreements and then there's a resolution.
Okay, because Mark will need to assign the tax sale as the board chair. So I brought those with me.
Okay.
Very good. Do that at the end. Thanks, Michaela. All right, Marion County Truck Engine Brake Ordinance discussion. We started this last meeting before that. Jared?
Thank you. As we discussed last meeting, as it relates to an engine noise ordinance, it's not exactly a simple question. And sometimes we have competing statutes, and we sought advice on whether we could post this or have an ordinance and post it on state highways. We contacted the Attorney General's office, their civil support staff, and they didn't have a definitive answer either. So I apologize that I can't point to some code section and give you a definitive answer. However, the general consensus was, after consulting with the DOT, was that this could happen. We could enact an ordinance. I know that Scott County has recently enacted a similar ordinance to this. The only feedback that we got back from the DOT was, if we are going to do this, it needs to be a county-wide ordinance. In other words, targeting specific areas on those highways would run afoul of the DOT. So that was the only sort of feedback we got, that we can do it, but if we're going to do it, it needs to be a county-wide ordinance. And I know that Tyler has done a lot of work trying to come up with figures on how much that would cost, because of course, if we're going to do this, we'd be responsible for paying for the signage and obviously enforcement of this as well.
So if we do this, and I can relate to the problem, because I kind of have the same thing down where I live with the co-op down there all the time, but I can live with that. But if we do this, then we sign all highway entrances, state and county, but then we cannot do specific signage in locations? Yeah, but what I'm saying, my problem is, Jared, I just feel that I see this real difficult to enforce. All it's gonna be is to keep an honest person honest, in my opinion. But I understand the frustration with some of it. But
Yeah, I mean, the specific question about how many signs and where we need to put signs up, I don't know that there's a definitive answer on that. And I know that sounds like a lawyer response, and it kind of is, but there just isn't a lot of authority out there on this, unfortunately. And so I think that as long as we were to post this in obvious places, the major, highways that come in and out of the county, and we're in good faith and, going to enforce it countywide, as opposed to just putting one sign up in one particular trouble spot.
right.
I think that's where we might run into some trouble. So just giving the traveling public general notice of this ordinance, I think, would fulfill the spirit of what, they're saying we should do.
So would that make it enforceable if the infractions were caused in county, and they don't come into the county, they begin in the county?
No, that's a good question. We would certainly face challenges about that. We would, and I'd have to probably lean on Tyler, to say, where he thought that, places we would need to put signs up to, adequately inform the public. So those are just some details that we'd have to work out. And
Can your budget absorb just the placing them on the highway entrances?
No,
No, so we'd have to,
my sign budget, my budget in general could. My sign budget, this would eat up nearly 40% of our sign budget with the estimated cost for the locations I sent yesterday, which was, I believe 18 locations, including state highways. Now, I don't know that the road department would have to erect the signs on the state highways, but I'm sure we would have to pay for them.
we don't know that.
Typically, they do not like us erecting signs, even if they are related to secondary
okay.
roads in their right of way.
So we don't know that answer yet, whether
No,
they would erect them.
This would be a permanent sign. The only time the DOT typically would allow the road department into the right of way is for temporary signs, which we obtain a permit for like such a
Right.
detour route sign.
Okay.
So the estimate I gave you based off just signing paved state road and county road entrances into the county. So county line locations was roughly $9,100.
Yep, that's 15 locations.
That's labor and materials
$9,100, yep.
for our guys. If we signed every location, it would be an additional 28,500. These are one-time costs. However, there is perpetual maintenance they have to meet minimum. They are regulatory signs, so they're enforceable. We need to make sure that they're meeting the minimum retroreflectivity requirements. So there's going to be maintenance and repair costs ongoing for us. And I'm sure the DOT is not going to pay for that either even though they're on their road. I did
Right.
make a couple of assumptions there because I think 3 of those locations were 4-lane highways. And typically you would have 2 regulatory signs on a 4-lane, one on each side of the direction of travel. So you typically see doubled up speed limit signs and regulatory signs on a 4-lane. So that is accounted for in that.
Yeah, I struggle a little bit with, I mean, this is the first time that it's been brought to us as a board. I also, the cost and, that's pretty significant, and especially to continue to take care of it.
I did look at, I think Jared made the comment about strategic points throughout within the county. I did take a look at that also. You'd be looking at 6 to 12 locations strategically at major intersections,
Right.
such as the PULY, some along 163,
Right.
Highway 14 and 5 at 92.
Yeah, well, if you want some more time to think about it, we can close discussion, bring it up at a later date.
Yeah, I'd like to think about it a little more because I'm confused about if the state will erect them, that decreases some cost somewhat, not a lot, but I'd like to have that information before.
Okay. Good. Is there a motion to close discussion, Steve?
Yeah.
Oh, Jim?
Can I ask a real quick question? If we're going to defer this, a couple of questions that I would also, as an audience member, like to know is this based upon just one single complaint that we've been hearing, or is this an overwhelming complaint? And how do we justify charging the county, every citizen in the county for doing these things if it's based upon one person? And then also another one is just a question on how many counties have this ordinance or type of ordinance in effect, so.
Yeah, I don't know
Not that we have to
that,
do everything that everybody else does.
yeah, I don't
it'd
know
just
that
be
it's
kinda nice to know
overwhelming. I know Jason had said that he has had some complaints at other locations, but I don't know how many. That's why I'd like to do a
Mhm.
little more research on this.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I
So, thank you.
struggle with it being enforced, and yeah, it's just, to me, in the years that I've been here, this is the first one that's been brought before the board, but yeah,
Alright.
we can discuss it later, so I'll make
Yeah.
motion to close discussion.
Second,
Ramey?
Aye.
Johnner?
Aye.
McCombs?
aye.
Very good. We've got some appointments to the Board of Health. Who's got that one? Kim?
Good morning.
Morning.
We have a couple of appointments that we need. Dr. McCoy would be finishing Dr. Remington's term. Dr. Remington has indicated that her plate is just too full to continue. So she recruited Dr. McCoy. Lindsay and I both met with him. He works at Knoxville Hospital. He's very public health minded, so he would be a really good fit. Very active doctor. Serves on several different boards and historically has served on a lot of boards. And he is willing to do the things that we need, such as a medical director, he has to let us use his license for things, and so he's willing to do those things. Nicole Stedham is she lives in Pella, and she's an attorney, and I don't know her, but she has indicated interest, and I am assuming that she would be a good fit. So Lindsay knows her, and indicated that she believes she'll be a good fit, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it.
Steve?
No, I'm okay with this.
All right.
All right.
Is there a
Thank you.
motion to approve these appointments?
Motion to approve both appointments for Nicole Stedham and Dr. Tim McCoy.
Second,
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs,
aye.
Ramey.
Aye. Updates, Steve.
I have a landfill meeting tomorrow and I also have a HERDA meeting Monday.
I don't have any updates.
I don't have anything either. All right, would entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session.
Second,
December 12 reconvene from closed session.
All right, is there a motion to reconvene?
Motion to reconvene.
second,
Johnner,
Aye.
McCombs.
aye.
Ramey.
Aye. During our closed session discussion, the board took no action. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make motion to adjourn.
Second,
McCombs,
aye.
Ramey,
Aye.
Johnner.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thanks.
Thank you.